welcome again to Natural Remedies Uncut. As today we'll be looking at a very important topic, I believe, something that really impacts each and every one of us, which is digestion. Natural remedies that we can be able to use to help in overcoming many of the digestive issues that we face, from GERD to reflux conditions, ulcers, and many other things that is associated with an improper digestion. So you definitely want to be able to hold tight because it's something that I believe is impacting many of us today. Digestive issues is on the rise. Is one of the number one reasons why people actually go to different pharmacies and even doctors' offices as well, is that because of something that is digestive related. And we will be really sharing a few things that not only ways you can be able to help in overcoming those, but how do you prevent that as well. And so that will be the goal of it. So you want to make sure you go ahead right now and hit that subscribe button if you're in YouTube, and if you, wherever you're viewing from right now, make sure you can be able to copy that link and share it as far and wide with many friends and families, and so that way many more could be able to learn those principles that you will be learning as well today.
Yep, so right here we're going to be presenting today a solution for these issues that you've been facing and battling with, and some of you for many years. So then if you have any of these issues that we have described with your digestive problems, then you want to be able to share this, and also just stay tuned as we go throughout this class here as well. Let us call on our Creator as we go throughout this class here so that He can give us the wisdom. And also, I'll pray for healing for anyone that is on here who is making those changes, that God will bring healing to you as well. And dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for creating us, and also creating nature, creating the different herbs, and placing everything that we need to be able to receive healing in our bodies. And Lord, I just pray that as we learn about these different things and as we put it into practice and do those things, that you may bring healing to our listeners. And I just pray that you may continue to bless them, give them strength to remain consistent with the things that we're teaching, and also just with the lifestyle changes, is my prayer in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. For many of you, you've probably heard this saying before: prevention is better than cure. And I believe it's a very powerful principle, because you don't just want to wait for something to come upon you to be able to start trying to remedy that thing. But I believe God in His mercy still gives powerful solutions that we can be able to use, which we'll be sharing throughout today as well, that you can be able to use in case those things come upon you. But also initially, we do want to share a few, like, how do you prevent that? Because, I believe that there's a powerful principle in the Bible, in the book of Proverbs, where it says, a wise man, he foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple or fool passes on and is perished. Meaning that if, one who is wise will definitely see something ahead of time and be able to remove himself from the way of receiving that, right? And that would be very important, because you want to prevent something from coming upon you, and not just stand in the way and just wait for it to come upon you, then realize, oh man, look at what happened, now what do I do, right? So you want to make sure you can avoid those things. So that's what we're going to share with you. And we're going to also dive into some really powerful remedies. We have many different things right now that we'll talk to you about. We have here like potatoes, cabbages, and many other things that we'll be sharing with you of what you can actually do and utilize. Now, one of the big issues that a lot of people have is different GERD issues, gastroesophageal reflux disorders. And many individuals experience lots of acidity, just those reflux issues, right? And we want to see, like, what are some things that may be triggering or causing individuals to actually have that particular type of condition. Now, one of the things is a lot of people eat like one meal a day, right? And when I say one meal a day, it's not like, okay, I just sit down, I eat one meal and that's it for the day. What I mean is that we eat, and then an hour later we eat again, 30 minutes later we eat again, 2 hours later or 3 hours later we snack and we eat something again. And maybe someone might make the excuse and say, well, it was a banana or an apple, it's healthy. But there's actually no healthy snacks. That's actually an oxymoron, right? Because snacking itself is not a healthy practice. So one thing to mention is that a lot of people will get different digestive issues because the stomach doesn't have a break in between any meals at all, and it's just like one after the other, where it's one of the most abused organs that we have in our bodies.
Yeah, and some of you are not on a 1 meal a day plan only, but you're on a seafood diet. You seafood and you want to eat it. So you have to practice some self-control. And as my brother's mentioning here, that you want to stay away from eating between your meals. So then what you want to do is to set meal times. And how you set meal times is working with your digestive system so your food leaves your stomach about, anywhere from 4.5 hours to like 5 hours later, 4 to 5 hours later, your food leaves your stomach and goes into your small intestine. And you want to be able to work with that so you don't eat before the food leaves your stomach. Because when your food is being broken down, it comes somewhat in a liquid state, closer to a liquid state, and then you put new solid food inside of your stomach again. Then your body has to try to break down that food to catch up to the other food that's in your stomach, and that just slows down the digestive process. And then hydrochloric acid stays in your stomach a little longer, and that may even cause a burning sensation, like some of you have described as acid reflux. So this may cause different issues in your body as well. So you want to be able to set meal times, and anywhere from 5 hours in between your meals to upwards to 6 hours in between your meals, if you want to give your stomach a rest as well in between eating foods. So like, let's say if you eat breakfast at 8 o'clock, then you'd eat lunch, like let's say anywhere from 1 o'clock, even 2 o'clock, if you want to give a bigger gap in between your meals, so that way your food can digest or leave your stomach in a good manner. And also, you know what, when you eat your food, or plan out your set meals, you want to have your largest meal of the day in the morning time. And so you eat like a queen, you eat breakfast like a queen or like a king for our men, and then you eat lunch like a princess or a prince, and then you eat dinner like a pauper. And you have the lightest meal of the day in the evening. Some of us have that reverse, where we have the heaviest meal in the evening. So when I say light meal, I'm talking about something like fruits. Fruits can take, about 2 hours, 3 hours to leave our stomach area. If you make a smoothie, that can even leave the stomach faster. So you can do a smoothie, to if you want to be able to digest your food properly as well, or in the evening if you want your food to leave your stomach, a state that acid can go back up, and you have a sphincter that separates your esophagus from your stomach. But eventually, if the acid keeps going against that sphincter, then that's going to wear down, and then it's going to open up that sphincter, and the acid is going to start to go backwards into your esophagus, and you get that burning sensation in your throat or esophagus area, or heartburn that we call it. So then these are some things that you want to address: not having those heavy meals, not laying down after eating, and having proper meals, set meal times, and not snacking in between, like we mentioned before.
No, definitely. And a lot of digestive issues, the main reason why you're in that position to begin with is because of a lot of times what we put into our mouths as well. So again, the more breaks your stomach gets from just food, just really benefits it. That's why one of the things that's really helpful is what you call intermittent fasting, but you have to do it the right way to really get the results. A lot of people do it the wrong way. One of the ways you can do it by following that same principle is by having a large breakfast, smaller lunch, and nothing after that. Even just a 2 meal a day plan for people with digestive issues could work really well, because after lunch you literally don't eat anything except consuming water up until the next day, which will give you like a 16-hour break for your stomach, and that will greatly and dramatically benefit you. And something else that really impacts people is not just what we eat or when we eat, but it's what we even think on how we eat, right? A lot of people who eat under stress conditions are greatly impacted as well, because stress actually shuts down digestion, and as a result, it could really impact the food's ability to be able to be digested effectively.
Yeah, and this is not only just for GERD or like acid reflux, heartburn issues, or different reflux issues, but this can help with digestive issues in general, like people that get ulcers and so many different issues that we'll be talking about here throughout our class. But one of the thing damaging habit that people have when it comes to digestion is drinking and eating at the same time. So whether it be water or juice, whatever it may be, when you consume liquid with your meals, then that takes your meal take a longer time to be able to break down that food, because what it has to do is to absorb the liquid first and then begin breaking down that food again. And even further, with eating and drinking at the same time, especially if you have like cold drinks, that can actually shut down or slow down your digestion. And many studies have shown this here, that cold slows down bodily functions and heat increases bodily functions as well. So then, drinking, especially cold drinks with your food, can do harm to your digestive system as well. So you want to make sure that if you're drinking with, or if you're trying to drink liquid, then you want to drink it 30 minutes before you have your meal, or when you have your lunchtime, then you want to wait 2 hours after lunchtime to be able to drink liquid again. So this is just something that can help with your digestive issues just by following this simple thing here.
No, definitely. And there's so many more things we'll cover, which we'll be looking at throughout the entire time as we go throughout. Because we do want to get to show you like some powerful recipes, remedies, and everything else that we'll be doing as well. But something else I'll mention too that I believe a lot of people also are, our body is consistently releasing, even let's say from the oral area, a lot of amylase, trying to break it down. And it's also expecting food in the digestive, in the stomach area. And then you realize that if you chewing, and there's nothing at all, no substance, no food at all that the body receives, but it sort of like tricks it into thinking there is something, then the hydrochloric acid begins to be secreted and so on. And as a result, of course, the hydrochloric acid consistently within the stomach area without any sort of food in there could really burn the lining of the stomach area, could cause a lot more digestive issues, a lot more GERD, reflux conditions as well. So something that may be as simple as chewing gum, and something that many people do even for hours at times, could actually greatly impact our entire digestive health. So it's something that you want to really take note of.
Yeah, so and also we're not saying that you cannot have like snacks or all these various things there. But snacks in itself is not bad in itself if you eat it together with your meals. And now it depends on what snacks you're talking about. If it's healthy snacks, then you eat that together with your meals. Like all the food that you need to eat that together with your meals. There's even like natural gums that you can get, but then you do that probably right after you eat your meals. But you do not want to have a gap in between your meal time and then eat something like 1 hour, 2 hours later. That's not going to be healthy for your digestive system.
Yeah, so snacking is bad, but there's nice foods and desserts and snacks and so forth that you could eat, but together with your meals to really get the benefits of it.
Yeah, so definitely. So, what we want to do is to get into some of those remedies, and then we'll probably talk some more about what can cause different issues as we go through our different digestive problems. And these things can also be applied across the board too as well. So then let's talk about something that you can do for acid reflux and to help with, GERD, different issues of the sort here. So one of the first things that we can do here, I have a cabbage in front of me. We have this cabbage, this purple cabbage here. Some of you may call it red cabbage, but this cabbage here is anti-inflammatory. And what this does, it helps to absorb some of that inflammation in different areas of the body. So we've spoken about cabbage, in the past, and we'll probably talk about cabbage for pain, inflammation, and pain, edema, and different stuff like that. And this cabbage here works great for internally as well. So anybody with any digestive issues, not just acid reflux, but if you have gas, if you feel bloating, also if you have, like, let's say, ulcers and different stuff like that here, you can use the cabbage for that. And how you would use it, you'd actually make this into a juice. So you take the cabbage, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you a juice recipe here for the cabbage. So not just cabbage, but some other stuff here in that juice recipe. So we have cabbage, 5 ounces of cabbage. We have about 5 ounces of carrots. We have 4 ounces of potato and 2 ounces of beets. So 5 ounces of cabbage, 5 ounces of carrots, 4 ounces of potato, and 2 ounces of beets. And you make 16 ounces of juice altogether. So what that cabbage is also mucilaginous. So people with ulcer issues as well, this cabbage can help to heal that ulcer because it helps to create like a barrier in your digestive system to give your digestive system, the cells in your stomach, time to heal, or in other parts of your digestive system as well. And this can help with like acid reflux and so forth just by doing this juice here as well. Both the cabbage and the potato as well works great. So during that time when you do the juices, you can actually take a break from eating, especially if you have an ulcer. You probably want to do this juice here for about 7 days, at least minimum 7 days. If you have acid reflux, maybe you can get away with doing it a little shorter, maybe like 5 days or so, but 7 days is a good range. 7 to 10 days, you can go for a juice recipe here. And then you can do this 4 times a day. You can drink this 16 ounces 4 times a day to help with your different digestive ailments that you may have as well.
No, definitely. And especially for digestion, at times, giving the stomach a break really helps. So we can reset it. So just doing those juices and no food during that time frame could really help, because with digestion, I mean, it's really food that got us in trouble in the first place. So by taking a break from it could really help. And in addition to that, once you transition back, you want to slowly transition back into your hard meals. So you will, from the juices, transition into like more of your raw foods, maybe your fruits, one meal, your vegetables at a different meal, and then you transition back into your hard foods with your other types of foods as well. But at the same time, one thing that really helps too is the more digestive, the more like live enzymes you have in your foods, the better. Like, so if you have foods that have a lot of like different enzymatic action in there, live foods, like, a lot of your fruits, the vegetables at different meals, that also really helps, right? But then, we mentioned like the potatoes and the cabbage, those are like really exceptional. And potato juice, the cabbage juice to really help with a lot of those digestive issues, but also even gas. If someone has a lot of gas as well as a result of that too, like, those things are very absorptive as well, to be able to like absorb a lot of the gaseous conditions too that may be like byproducts of different digestive issues. So that's one thing that could be done. And then, there are times when, of course, the stomach is just so upset. There's so much going on, whether from reflux issues to upset issues, and you're like, wow, what do I do here? My stomach is not really settled. Like, what are some things that I can do? We're going to mention a couple of them. One of them I'll mention first is activated charcoal. Now, a lot of those remedies that we're mentioning can actually be used for multiple areas and multiple different digestive issues as well. But let's say someone has some sort of an upset stomach. It could be from what you ate. Maybe you just ate some bad combination of food. Maybe you ate some food with some bad water in there, or maybe you've had like just some sort of bad practice or something that caused that. Then, taking like 1 tablespoon of activated charcoal, 1 tablespoon into a cup of water. You mix that and you drink it. Then that is one way to actually help with a stomach that is really unsettled, upset, and that may be as a result of some sort of food issue or something you consumed or whatever the case might be. So something that I really recommend every single person actually having in their homes, maybe even on them wherever they go, because that can actually be used in multiple areas. But I'm mentioning it right now for like, upset stomach, which there are several things you could do, and also like, unsettled based upon something that you might have consumed.
Yes, definitely. And another one that you want to do, like let's say you have nausea or your stomach is like upset, you have upset stomach, even with gas too as well. A powerful remedy that we have here is ginger. Ginger is very, very powerful and potent. And what you do, you make a tea with this here as well. So then you would take this, and what I like to do with the ginger, I like to take a grater and grate the ginger. When you grate the ginger, you help to extract some of the juices from the ginger at a much quicker rate, rather than if you chop it up and then you put it inside of there to make the tea. It might take a little longer with boiling it to extract the phytochemicals in the gingerol and different phytochemicals that have those potent healing properties. So by grating it, you help to extract some of that fluid from the ginger itself at a much quicker rate. And then you just grate it a bit. Sometimes you can just do like about this here, this much of grated of the ginger, and then you put that into like 8 ounces of water. Or if you want to make more, so you can have more for someone else, or you can store up some in the fridge for later, then you can even grate the whole thing and fill up a jar with some ginger tea, and then you add some water to that. You bring the ginger hair to a boil, and you let it boil for about 15 minutes. And then afterwards, you let it sit for another 15 minutes. If you grate the ginger, you might get away with boiling it for bringing it to a boil and boiling it for a shorter time. So then that's why grating is much more potent. And sometimes if we don't have time to give someone the ginger and they may want it immediately, we have in the past where we grated the ginger and then we took like a cheesecloth, a strainer or something of the sort, and then we squeeze out all the juice directly from the ginger, and you get like a ginger shot. It's like really potent and strong ginger. You can even add some honey to that if you want to as well, because honey is pretty good for healing the stomach and in different areas in the body as well. So then putting some honey in that, you mix that in there, and then you can drink that, and that's a very potent remedy for nausea, for upset stomach, for any of these issues. Now, a lot of pregnant women, if you have issues with morning sickness and all these different issues there, ginger works very good as well, just to help those morning sickness, that nausea, that upset feeling that you have. Even my wife, when she was pregnant, that's something that she used all the time to help with her morning sickness and just upset stomach in general.
No, definitely. And if you have a lot of gas, of course, your body naturally is trying to help alleviate that. So you may find your oral area trying to release gas, or maybe you may have like some flatulence coming out as well, right? So what you want to do is like assist your body, grab some ginger tea and just assist the body in releasing a lot of that gas, of even a lot of the extra flatulence from, digestion, digestive situation as well. But then one of the things as it pertains to gas, like sometimes, some individuals may have different stomach pains and aches, or even like cramping as well, as a result. So different things could actually be caused linked to that. And even sometimes, like let's say someone might be on a cleansing program, and because they have probably a high amount of fiber, low water intake, that could even cause that. But on a regular, some people, when they consume certain foods as well, they do get lots of like cramping, certain mixtures and so on. What can you do if you have really bad cramping in the stomach area because of like gas and gaseous issues? Like it can be really painful sometimes. Like gas is, I don't know, it's just something that's extremely powerful. It can be very painful. So then ginger is one of those definitely that could help in those situations too. And I just want to mention what we spoke about earlier, but also for gaseous issues as well, which is activated charcoal. And I remember we were over at like a seminar we were doing down in New York City area. And talking about seminar down in New York City area afterwards, we do want to share with you something major that we'll be doing in New York City, that if any of you are there, you do want to be part of it. And also, even if you are in different countries or areas, we'll share with you how you can be part of it. But we were doing like a seminar down in New York area, and there's this lady who that morning said, hey, you know what, I'm just having lots of pain in my stomach area, and it's like really bad cramping type of pain. Of course, it just wasn't related to her female issues and so forth. It was more digestive related. And she said like she's been going to several different doctors throughout the week. She's been trying all sorts of pills and medications, but nothing seemed to really do it for her. Like she's just in extreme pain. Said, you know what, hold on one second, let's grab something in the vehicle for you. We went to the vehicle, and guess what we grabbed? It was activated charcoal. So grab the activated charcoal, get like 1 tablespoon, put it into a cup of water, mix that in for her, and she drank that like a couple times during that seminar throughout the day. We were there for like several hours. And towards the end of that seminar, when we were about to end off, she said, hey, can I share like a testimony with everyone? I'm like, okay, great, you can come up share testimony. She said throughout the entire week, like she's been having so much pain, and she's almost didn't come out to the seminar today because she didn't know if she would have even been able to make it, right, to that location. That's how bad it was and excruciating it was for her. But she is so happy because she's able to sit through the seminar towards the end, and she says the pain that she was having has been completely removed. Like she's no longer feeling it at all. And that was a good testament to the power of the natural remedies and the power of God in restoring and healing her for everyone else that was present, because we were speaking about natural remedies that day and many other aspects of lifestyle and so forth. However, I'm mentioning this because those are remedies that we've seen being able to work and change and impact many lives. And so having those emergency remedies and having those sort of remedies there could really help you in those situations, or even others that may be within your surroundings as well.
Yeah, and also with the ginger as well, you can just chop up some of the ginger and put it into your beans when you're cooking beans. And if you have problems with gas and bloating, and you have flatulence when you cook beans or eat beans, then this is a way that you can help to reduce some of that by just adding that ginger to your beans there. But something else that you can do for upset stomach, nausea, unsettled stomach, and oftentimes, as my brother mentioned before, that these things can happen because of stress, right? You stress while you're eating, and that can affect digestion and so many other issues as well that can come as a result of stress. But two of the other herbs that you can take for that is peppermint. Peppermint is very powerful in any type of stomach upset, stomach issues, nausea, and any of these things there. Morning sickness as well. And also chamomile has a calming effect on the stomach area. So chamomile has a calming effect on the stomach area, and we've had many people that have tried this here, peppermint or chamomile, and you can even mix this thing together. You can make like a ginger peppermint tea. You can put some chamomile in there if you want to as well, or chamomile and peppermint. You can interchange, mix up some of those different teas, and that's how you make formulas. Formulas are just a combination of different herbs that help basically, similar things. So if you have stomach issues and a list of herbs that can help with stomach problems, then just using that ginger, that peppermint, that chamomile can really help in relaxing and helping the nausea and that stomach area as well. So that's something very powerful that you can use for those issues. Now, since I'd mentioned about ulcers and peptic ulcers and stuff like that, I just wanted to go back again because I don't want to just glance over it. We did talk about the juice that can help with that, but then we want to talk about like what can cause that issue as well when it comes to ulcers, whether different types of ulcers in the body. Basically, it is an ulcerated sore that is in your digestive tract, whether that be in your stomach or in your small intestines. You have ulcers in different areas of the body. So then people might get those issues because of one of the reasons could be hot spicy foods. So whether that you add, like, let's say black pepper or cayenne pepper to your food, those hot sauces, hot spices, those can cause ulcerated sores in your digestive system and cause you to begin to bleed. So then you want to stay away from cayenne pepper and black pepper in your food. Now, we have nothing against it medicinally. So if you make a tea and you have cayenne pepper in your tea, or you take like capsules with cayenne pepper or something like that, then guess what? You drink a tea, that leaves your stomach within about like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes time, it's out of your stomach. When you put the cayenne pepper with your food and your food has to be digested and broken down, then that can take upwards to like 4 hours, 5 hours, the cayenne pepper just sitting in your stomach area, and that's not very healthy for your stomach. So that may cause bleeding, and that may cause different issues with your stomach. In conjunction with what we have talked about already, like not eating between meals, having a good gap in between your meals when you eat, not eating late at night, not eating then laying down right after, drinking and eating at the same time. All these various things that can cause indigestion, can cause even lead to an ulcer and just affect your digestive system in general.
No, definitely. And with that as well, like even individuals who may unfortunately be even on lots of different pills and medications. All that could really impact the stomach in a negative way. The liver especially and the stomach area both are really severely impacted, and even more so too with like lots of you know ingestions of antibiotics and so on completely impacts the entire gut, the entire digestive aspect. So individuals who do pop lots of pills, that is something too that could really impact the entire stomach area. But when it comes to like let's say looking at more like let's say ulcerative issues as well, like we did mention, a lot of the things that really impacts us in digestion could really impact the formation of ulcer. But one thing I'll mention as well is an increased amount of fats, right? Increased amount of fats in the diet. What we notice is that high fat diets or fatty diets actually slows down digestion. So especially animal fats, that has a big impact where it can actually delay your transit time by an extra 48 hours. Whereas someone should have a natural 24-hour transit time from consuming something to allowing that to be evacuated from the body. But high fatty foods, especially animal fats, can be able to delay it to the point where every 72 hours you're now releasing your meals, which could definitely have a big high fatty foods could impact that negative in that way as well. You do want to be able to get a lot more food that has a lot more fiber in there, like we mentioned, fiber, live enzymes, that naturally has digestive enzymes too. All of those like really help.
Yeah, so one of the things that you can help with, ulcers, um, the same thing that may cause an ulcer, if you're bleeding, you can actually take like a cayenne pepper as a tea and drink that in, and that can actually help to stop the bleeding in your stomach area or your intestines, wherever you have that ulcer. It's not something that you want to take together food, but as a tea, that's something that can actually help the bleeding. So if you want to address the bleeding, something that you can address the bleeding. But if you want to help it to heal, the remedy that we gave for the juice recipe with the cabbage works powerfully to help with the ulcer as well. And even if you like, let's say you just have potato in your home, like just grating that potato and squeezing out the juice, or just juicing the potato itself, juicing the whole potato, 1 or 2 potatoes, and drinking that first thing in the morning can really help, digestive issues like from ulcers to indigestion to acid reflux. Just juicing that potato, 1 or 2 potatoes, like in the morning, and drinking that down, first thing in the morning, that can really help with those issues as well.
No, definitely. And I mean, the kind is very powerful too because we've worked with several different people who were bleeding internally, especially from ulcers as well, and have been able to find that, with just the introduction of the cayenne pepper ingested and taken orally, then they were able to, it was able to help to stop their bleeding right away and, or in a short span of time. So definitely, like if someone is bleeding internally, cayenne pepper works very well. And I think even in previous classes we mentioned how cayenne pepper also helps even externally as well. If someone is actually bleeding, maybe they got a cut or whatever the case might be. And that is a powerful thing about cayenne. So it's something that actually works extremely well for that. If someone also is like having like some ulcerative issues, like in the stomach area and so forth, then being on foods with at that time frame that is less like seasoned, maybe just more like plain without a lot of the other spices and everything else would probably be even best. Now, ideally, of course, doing the juices initially is always ideal, better, get the stomach a break, allow it to restore and heal. But even transitioning from that, even being on foods without a lot of the spices and everything else, allowing the stomach to rest, especially more like potatoes, very simple, and different items like that could work very well. But a different herb I'll mention too that really helps with like ulcerative conditions, digestive conditions, and so on is that of aloe vera. Aloe vera is also very powerful. The way you do that is simply get your aloe leaf and you basically cut the leaf, the hard outer part out of the leaf so you can be able to scrape out the gel, and that gel is what you will either just place in maybe even like a cup of water or half a cup of water and be able to mix that in so that way you can be able to drink aloe water with the gel, aloe gel. And what that does is that it's also miscellaneous as well, where it helps with the lining. It helps to recoat that lining too. And also, just to let you know, It will, if someone is a little backed up, it also works like a laxative effect as well. So it will actually get you going to the restroom as well. So you keep that in mind, which is benefit for probably a lot of people who, if you're really backed up, aloe vera is a great laxative that actually helps you to utilize your bowels.
Yeah, and talking about going to the bathroom, right? One of the issues that we may have with our digestion is diarrhea. And oftentimes, diarrhea can be caused by so many different things, like overgrowth of bad bacteria in the gut. Also, being constipated could be a reason why you may have diarrhea. Or, your body's just trying to get rid of some sort of infection, right? You have an infection and your body's trying to get rid of that. You may have diarrhea. So, there are different diarrheas. And diarrhea is something that, which your body is trying to save itself. So it's trying to help you to get rid of something in your body. But at the same time, diarrhea can get to a point where it's just too much. You're going too much. You cannot keep up with drinking enough water to keep yourself hydrated, which you should keep yourself hydrated if you're having diarrhea, because you can get dehydrated pretty quickly if you keep defecating. So then one of the things that you want to do to help to stop the diarrhea is taking, like a tablespoon in some water of charcoal, activated charcoal again. So you can use that charcoal to help, to harden up the stool so it's not very liquidy, or you don't have that, you can get rid of that diarrhea. So charcoal has worked wonders with many people that have diarrhea, and it works in a very powerful way.
No, definitely. And what's very interesting is with diarrhea, of course, we know that everything will begin to come out very liquidy. And people will think, well, maybe I shouldn't drink water. It's already so much water coming out. But it could be, there's very little water in the body already, like dehydration and so forth. So actually drinking water could help. So what you want to do with diarrhea as well, drink as much fluid and liquid as possible. And that will definitely help you. And especially replacing a lot of what you lose into that will be very essential. So basically consuming a lot more water, drinking a lot more water would be a great benefit for someone with diarrhea. And so something that you really want to be able to implement and be able to do as well. So yeah.
And let's just say you have an issue with diarrhea because of an overgrowth of bad bacteria in your body, or some sort of infection in your gut area, which we've helped people, a few times with that issue. One of the things that you can do, you can actually get like a garlic hair. You can use this whole bottle of garlic and put it into about 42 ounces of water into a blender, and you blend up this garlic hair, and then you strain it out, and you do like a garlic enema. You can get like a fleet enema hair like this, and you fill this up. This is about 4.5 ounces of water. So you get rid of the saline water that's inside of here, and then you fill it up with the garlic water. You strain the garlic, of course. You can use purified water or distilled water. You don't want to put anything in your gut that, like let's say from the tap or from a well, because that may have bacteria or chemicals and different stuff that you just don't want. So then this is here. You can use this here to help your gut, to help your diarrhea or any overgrowth of bad bacteria. The garlic would go in and kill any of those bad bacteria in your body, because remember, garlic is antimicrobial. So it's antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. It's just a powerful way to get rid of any infection or any overgrowth of any bad bacteria or anything like that is in your gut area. Like we've had this man who was having diarrhea, and we're wondering, why is he having diarrhea? We tried different things and it wasn't helping him. And then we did this garlic enema with him. And also, it could be a sign of parasites as well. Like that could be a big thing. So the garlic can go in and kill those parasites, can kill those bad bacteria, overgrowth of bad bacteria, and so forth. And when we did that enema with him, his diarrhea was gone, and it didn't come back afterwards. So this also gave us an indication that his body was battling something here, and the garlic helped to just kill it off, and his body was able to stabilize after that.
No, definitely. And especially for great bowel health, so that way you can have regular stools and so on. Being able to, fiber is also one of the big aspects as well. You want to ensure that it's part of your regular routine. Now, with fiber, of course, a lot of our fiber, it's all like insoluble fiber. However, it's something that's still very essential. for us. So fiber serves as the broom. It's like the broom within our bodies. It helps to really sweep out what is in there, but it also binds as well, right? So then a lot of times, if you consume more fiber, you'll realize you'll have a lot more healthier stool than consuming none at all. And to be more binded, it wouldn't be as loose and so forth. And then, you could be able to, really help maybe even preventing some of those issues as well as a result. So consume more fibers, increase your water intake, activated charcoal, exceptional. It actually works to really bind and help to prevent like slow down and to stop that diarrhea effect as well as again being able to kill off those parasites. Like all of those are really impactful. Something that you definitely want to implement right away if you have it or if you ever get it. Something that you want to be able to do. And we're going to see here, just a powerful impact. I mean, all those different foods really helps. But at the same time, what we want to make sure is that we can be able to prevent things as much as possible from coming upon us. I know like sometimes we may eat something and we may not necessarily, it may not be something that we will expect because maybe it might just be something in a new location, something that we ate, like where it may be a healthy food, but sometimes it may be prepared maybe in a way that our body's not used to or with some other type of agents in there. So those things will definitely help you in those situations and those cases, and so just to be aware of that.
Yeah, and with digestive issues, and we've spoken about this before in the past, but we can always speak about it again. We always have, like let's say constipation, you want to clean out the gut, there's some issues that is happening in your body. It's always good to take like a colon cleanser. And we do have a colon cleanser here. This is actually Easy Sweep colon cleanser. This is actually our company that we have here. And, Ezra and his wife, they manufacture a lot of these different products here that we use at the center. And, this colon cleanser here have been used basically right now, probably over 1,000, more than 1,000 of these products have been sold over the years, probably like, within a 9 or 10 year span of time that we've been selling this product here. And this has helped so many people to be able to normalize the gut again. And even with constipation, and not just constipation, but a regular clean out and helping your bodies to get rid of anything, any toxic waste that may be stagnant in the colon area, the digestive system area. And a lot of the herbs that is in this colon cleanser is very powerful to help individuals. Like we talked about ginger, it's inside of here. We talked about aloe vera, it's inside of here as well. But also there's a psyllium husk and alfalfa, slippery elm, apple pectin. Apple pectin is very powerful too because apple pectin can absorb, studies have been shown that it can absorb heavy metals in the body as well. So as this thing goes down to the body, goes down to the gut, it draws heavy metals that's inside of the body. It's very, very powerful to take this colon cleanser here. And also if you're just looking to lose weight, sometimes you can have between anywhere from 5 to 25 pounds of fecal matter that is just stagnant in our colon area. And what happens when that fecal matter is stagnant, like let's say in our colon, then there's a process that is called putrefaction where these things can leak out from our large intestine and go into our bodies. And sometimes our lymphatic system will try to suck up all our toxins, but then this is causing a toxic environment in our system. So then we just want to be able to get to a point where we can clean out our gut. And when people are sick, one of the first things that we always tell them to do is to clean out the gut. And people always ask us if we have to do one cleanse. Well, it really depends on what's happening with you. But if you want to do one general cleanse, it's always a good idea to clean out the gut hair because it's so powerful. And when that gut is toxic, it can make the whole body toxic as well. So colon cleanser is very powerful. We can even leave a link here. You'll see it in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube here, we should have a link in the description below. So then you can be able to order this colon cleanser here. You can order this colon cleanser here today. And even if you want to get the full kit, the full cleanse kit as well, we will leave a link for the full cleanse kit. We have other cleanses as well, like kidney, we have a parasite, blood purifier, lymphatic system cleanser as well, the kidneys and the colon. So all this full body cleanse that you can do, like a 30-day cleanse that you can do here. We're going to leave the link for you in the chat as well, so you can be able to purchase this too.
No, definitely. And one of the herbs that you mentioned in there, I just want to even highlight as well because it's actually very powerful for many different digestive issues, is that of slippery elm as well, right? So you notice one of the common themes and threads with those things is that a lot of those miscellaneous herbs actually is very calming, soothing, and really helps with the reparation of the digestive tract and digestive issues. So the slippery M is really great if someone may be having any type of digestive issues, GERD, even ulcerative conditions. Like slippery M works very well for that. It's very soothing. It's very restorative to the stomach area. Something that we can sort of implement into our regimen. But again, cleaning out the gut is really helpful. And sometimes, like there are some certain people that may be consuming certain foods and may need that extra help because the body is not fully breaking down things properly as a result. Improper digestion is taking place. What are some things that you could do to be able to help increasing your enzymatic action, and what are some things you can do to help to break down those foods more effectively? Well, there are certain foods that really helps that are very high in digestive enzymes as well. Like for example, one of those would be that of papaya. So for example, if someone may have digestive issues, they want that additional help, like, hey, I can't digest certain foods properly, or I'm just having lots of issues with digestion in general, getting all those different symptoms, then what you want to do is get like a semi-ripe potato. It's not potato. Potato is great too, but papaya, and you want to be able to consume that as well. Let's say at breakfast time, just have a good amount of papaya that you can actually consume together with your meal as well. And on a regular basis, you can implement that. What you'll notice is that that is also very high in papain enzymes, so that way that can actually help in soothing and helping to allow you to get a much better gut and much better health. And there are different types of enzymes as well. Like for example, you have the propane, but you also have other enzymes like bromelain as well. Bromelain is also very good with digestion, and bromelain you actually find from things like pineapples and so on. But so being able to like get in more of those enzymes into our meals and so forth could really help with allowing us to better be able to digest foods more effectively.
Yeah, and you can even take those things in like capsule form, where they have the papaya enzymes, digestive enzymes in the capsule form. We can probably even post some links there after. We'll post it in the WhatsApp where you can get some of those things that we recommend. If you don't know what to look for, how to look for it on Amazon or your health food stores, we can send you links of some of those products there for you as well. But another thing that you can do, talking about the digestive system and assisting your digestive system, especially in your gut, also parts of your small intestine, you do have, even in your stomach too, you have throughout the whole digestive system, you do have like bacteria. You have a good balance of good and bad bacteria, and especially in your large intestine, where it is the most dominant. And sometimes with digestive issues, the bad bacteria, as I mentioned before, can outgrow the good bacteria. And that can also happen when you take a lot of antibiotics. So a lot of people that I've met before in the past, they always say that, taking antibiotics is not as bad or harmful. So they say that's the only thing that I would take. I don't want to take any of these different medicines and different stuff like that, but I'll do antibiotics because to them it's pretty harmless. However, antibiotics, as you can see by the name, is antibiotic or antibacteria. So remember, when you use a lot of those chemicals, they kind of differentiate from the good and the bad. So when it goes in and it kills the bacteria against bacteria, it may kill the good bacteria as well in your digestive system. That's why when you take in your antibiotics, you do not want to stop, because then if you stop in the middle of it, then you could have killed all your good bacteria or whatever, and then also the bacteria that is that you're trying to kill may become even immune to the antibiotic, and that may cause different issues there for you as well. So what you want to do, especially if you have taken antibiotic in the past, and if you have any problems with your gut, like let's say any issues with bloating and stuff like that, you probably need a pre or probiotic. And I'll talk about both of them, pre and probiotic, because prebiotic, you have stuff like from your foods. So what it does when you eat those foods and it goes into your gut area, then it ferments in the gut. And that can help to boost your bacteria, regenerate your bacteria that's already there, and help in the creation of new good bacteria as well. So then some of those prebiotic would be stuff like garlic and onion and artichoke. Those foods, garlic, onion, artichoke, even cabbage as well. So some people, ferment the cabbage. We try to stay away from, fermented foods. I know some of you may have questions about that, like kombucha and all those different drinks there. We don't want to drink it in the fermented state, because then we can absorb that, go into our bloodstream, and then when you have alcohol in your bloodstream, that's not the best thing. So then when you eat those foods and then it sits and it goes down and it is in your large intestine, and then it stays in your large intestine for a few hours, then it ferments inside of there where little or no absorption takes place. So then you want to be able to bypass, eating those things or consuming fermented things that can be absorbed into your bloodstream. So we don't advise for kombucha or fermented cabbage or any of this fermented soy or any of those fermented beverages or fermented products, food byproducts. We don't take fermentation in any state.
And that's very important because when it comes to digestion as well, it's actually one of the biggest things that is really promoted to individuals as to what is a lot beneficial. Like majority of the products in the market that is also associated with good digestive health, majority of them are actually fermented, unfortunately as well. However, we realize that if you look at the human body, we weren't created by any human being. We were created by God himself. So he's the creator of our body. So if we have to understand what's best for you, it only makes sense to go to the person who made it, right? If I have an issue with my Tesla, I wouldn't go to like, let's say Subaru, or I wouldn't go to Ford to figure out some sort of a high-tech electrical type of, issue going on that Tesla would probably have manuals and know best about, right? So the same thing for the human body. God himself made us, so he knows what is best. And, in the book of Proverbs, he says that, wine, which is referring to even that of that fermented beverage, is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So in other words, it's not a wise thing to be able to consume fermented or alcoholic foods into the body. Now, for some, it may be a shocker. For some, you may probably have heard that in the Bible before, but again, it is actually not just a biblical truth, but it's actually been scientifically proven. And, with astounding, a large number of studies, backing this same fact up as well, that alcohol is not the best thing for consumption. And we've actually mentioned that in other classes before, but there's a huge study that was done, I believe the World Health Organization, where basically it was mentioned that the safest level of alcohol consumption, which is a fermented beverage basically, is 0, right? And so again, implementing those things from the Bible, from the Creator himself, is not something that is just as a restrictive measure, but it's actually divine wisdom that is educating us and sharing with us how exactly we ought to be able to eat, live, and just every aspect to have an optimal life.
Yeah, and it's so with those things that I mentioned, like the garlic, the onion, the Jerusalem artichokes, you can just cook that in your food. Like the garlic, you can chop it up, put it in your salad. You can have some, especially red onions, chop it up, put it in your salad as well, cook it with your food, eat it raw, however way that you can do to just get it into your body. Also flaxseed, a tablespoon of flaxseed a day also helps to provide omega-3 fatty acids into your body. It's anti-inflammatory, but also it can help to regenerate your bacteria in your gut as well. And together with that, you can also do a probiotic. So, we advise sticking to some of the vegan probiotic. You can even search for vegan probiotic on Amazon. If you want, you can, in the WhatsApp community, we can send you a link to some of those products that we would recommend. So that way you can purchase some of those things here. But the vegan probiotic, the way it's processed, It's not processed with dairy and so forth. But then, taking that probiotic, and sometimes individuals with gut issues, depending on how long or how many times you have taken antibiotics, studies have shown that people need upwards to like a year or even a year and a half to be able to regenerate or build up back the flora, the bacteria, the good bacteria in the gut. And it can cause a lot of damage. And they have said that it may cause, at times, even irreparable damage. But we don't believe in irreparable unless you cut out an organ. we say you can't really grow that organ back. I mean, they have some instances where God can work a miracle, but in any different situation, there is a remedy. There is a way that God have made a way of escape for us, that we can be able to experience health, go back into normal health again.
No, definitely. And really speaking about going back into normal health, coming the end of May in 2024, that is, if you're looking at this video, end of May 2024, in Brooklyn area, right in New York, we will be doing, and we will be there live, doing an entire 10-day training. And it will be very intensive 10-day health training, what we call gospel medical missionary work. We believe that, in order for us to have a complete health, then it's not just physical, it's mental and spiritual. So the goal of this training is to cover all those different aspects on how we can be able to equip others to, one, help themselves, their family members, and even many others as well, by utilizing simple and natural therapies and remedies, from lifestyle to water therapies to herbal therapies to just so many other aspects on how we can be able to help the diseased body, mind, and soul. So then we really excited about it. It's actually from like 10 a.m. all the way to like 6 p.m. It's like really intensive. And again, it's in person, but also we do have an online option. So if you want to be part of that training and that experience, you want to click the link and register today, because time is going by, and we're not sure exactly. There's certain cutoff points for like certain types of registration. So you want to be able to make sure that you sign up right now. But there are many things that we'll be covering in there that we mentioned, from going through lifestyle remedies and therapies, nutrition, cooking classes, massage, like water therapy, herbs, like spiritual aspects with just being able to how to share God's word with others, just to learn that aspect even more, and so on. So you want to make sure that you could be a part of that gospel medical missionary training. We believe that each and every member, each and every person who are on needs to be trained in that as well, because I believe times are coming very soon where that would be much more important for us to understand how to go back to nature and utilize that for ourselves, for our health, and for our healing. Because as our liberties are being taken away more and more in this nation, we believe that one of the things that each and every person needs to be able to know, which we told in Counsel and Health 506, powerful book, it says that we need to be educated in disease, its causes, prevention, and cure. And that is the goal of this entire training.
Yeah, so you want to be able to click the link in the chat, or if you're on YouTube, the description. We're going to have the link there to sign up for this gospel medical missionary training. It's going to be, the website is bit.ly/GMM training 2024. And you want to be able to visit that link here. You can register. This is probably like the third week where we have extended the early bird registration. After the early bird registration ends, then we go to normal pricing, and that's almost double the price if you don't get this early bird registration. So you want to make sure that you register for this training right now, so we don't miss out. We're getting very close to that time here. People have been signing up, all throughout the week, and you want to be able to be a part of this training here. And we've talked about this before, about having trainings like this here. And sometimes what you have to do to have a training like this, you probably have to take like 2-3 months off from work. You have to go to a facility, like let's say you have to travel to Tennessee or down south or across in the west, and you have to be there at a school for a period of time to go throughout this course. So what we're doing in here is, for those of you in New York, we're bringing this training right to you in the New York area in Brooklyn at the Christian Fellowship SDA Church. And for some of you who are watching online, you have the opportunity, if you cannot make it in person, you can also watch online. We will have it available online through the Zoom platform. So whether you're online or you want to come in person, then you can be able to do that here. So that way you can experience this training that some people paid thousands of dollars for and had to travel far, for the plane ticket, transportation, all of that. And by the time they're done, they spend a whole bunch of money going for this training. And we want to bring this training to you in your vicinity, and also in the comfort of your home if you're watching online as well. So as I said before, there's the chat. We're going to post the link there. And also, if you're on YouTube, the link will be in the description as well to sign up for that.
No, definitely. And so that's about, I mean, I think that's really about it for today. And, we're looking forward to covering many more topics with you as well. Same time every single Sunday. I believe next week Sunday as well, you definitely want to be there because we'll be sharing many different things pertaining to, by God's grace, women's health, how to be able to help with many different women conditions. And, for ladies who are wanting to get pregnant, what can you do as well? How to speed up that process and many other aspects you definitely don't want to miss as well. So make sure that you continue to share, subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. Continue to share it far and wide, this video from today and any other ones. Go back to see some of our replays. All those will be very beneficial as well for each and every one of you.
Thank you for joining.
All right, great. So, and appreciate you all for joining. And we're still going to have a question and answer segment for those who may have questions. We will be able to do that, and we'll see how we can cover it, in a timely fashion as well, so that way, we can be able to get through it. So, if there's any questions at all, again, you can feel free to either one, put in the chat or raise your virtual hand, and we'll be able to help in answering those before we fully end off for today. So do let me know if there are any questions that any one of us have, and that way we can be able to cover that. You can go ahead by raising your virtual hand on Zoom. Raise your virtual hand on Zoom, or so that way we can be able to get to you if there are any. If there aren't any in the first few seconds, then we'll be able to end things off. So you let me know if there are any questions, raise your virtual hand, and we'll be able to help in covering that together. So that way we can be able to go through that. And or if and in the chat, you can be able to do that as well. But as always, we prioritize those who raise their virtual hand. However, if today, there aren't any questions, then we'll move forward. And next week, make sure you're on next week. We will be going through again women's health. And also we'll be having, even many different aspects pertaining to that. Just how you can be able to better be able to do that. And, maybe even cover areas of like birthing and different aspects like that as well. I think that would be very important for people at different ages, cover from fibroid issues to menopausal issues, different age groups. So make sure you're there next week and you invite someone. Now we're going to go ahead with Peace. If you can go ahead and ask your question, you can feel free to do so.
Okay, could you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you for your knowledge and everything. Thank you very much for sharing with us. My question is, with the remedies for the stomach, you said about ginger and you got garlic, and you also mentioned beet and stuff like that. If you have high blood pressure, are you allowed to take that as well? Because I know that these things, because if you're taking something that's going to lower your blood pressure, and it's working fine, to go and add these to it, would it make it even lower, even more?
Okay, you're saying that if your blood pressure is already normal, but you're taking those juices, would it
Yeah.
cause it to drop even a lot lower?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, something like those juices, it wouldn't create any dramatic effect in giving you like really low blood pressure. So that wouldn't be an issue at all. For like normal blood pressure. Yeah, that would be fine. I mean, we've utilized it with many individuals with regular blood pressures as well, without any issues in that aspect. So you should be fine doing that even with a normal blood pressure. That's perfectly fine.
because I do suffer from high blood pressure and I take things and it has lowered it. So I'm thinking if I take anything more, like it make it even lower.
Okay, so you do you have more like an issue with like let's say like low blood pressure issue or do
High
you
blood pressure.
okay, so then when you say when you take certain items like you're very hypersensitive to it to the point where it drops it very quickly?
Yeah, because the thing is, because I do take red clover and other stuff, and it sort of like drops it. And if I go and take these other things like garlic and stuff, it's going to drop it even more, isn't it? If you're taking too much.
No, definitely. With garlic and so
You
on,
can
it
take
will
all
definitely
that.
drop it more. With garlic, it will definitely drop it more. However, let's say if you're speaking about like the juices, that we mentioned with the potatoes, I mean, if you really worried, just eliminate the beets from it. But even so, even with the beets, it shouldn't have such a dramatic effect. But when it comes to like the garlic and those other aspects, definitely that's going to lower your blood pressure a lot more. So you can be cautious of that. And each person, may have different sensitivities. It may vary for each person. So like, I guess if you understand your body, do what, just when you do things, monitor it and do what works with your body as well. And but yes, so yeah, the garlic definitely, but the juices I'm thinking shouldn't have. But if it does for you, then you know your body best. So you better be able to see how you can be able to maneuver with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Thank you so much. So we do have another question here from Candy Francis. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, good afternoon. I was just wondering if you could give some recommendations for gaining weight.
Okay. So then so how much underweight are you looking at and how much weight are you you know hoping to put on additional?
Um, about 10 to 15 pounds.
Okay. So then some and you lower on the BMI level and maybe that individual may be underweight. So then there are different healthy ways, right? And I'll mention healthy ways to put on weight because a lot of people when they try to put on weight, it's usually through unhealthy methods, right? So some of the things I'll recommend initially is okay, if someone is really looking to put on weight, then maybe a 3 meal a day plan. 3 meal a day plan would be something that they'll want to consider, still having the heaviest meal at breakfast, then a little lighter at lunch, and at supper will still be lighter, right? So 3 meal a day is something that'll be really good. And in addition to putting on weight, I will recommend not just putting on fat, but also putting on muscle. So even while someone is doing that, being able to exercise, especially doing a level of weightlifting, even for ladies, could be good. Something that will be able to, essentially, help to give some more tonality, help with more muscle and so forth. Whether that may be even light weights, something like that would be great. And then also what you consume makes a big difference, right? So if you're putting on weights, like eating a lot more of your tropical foods are definitely more fattening and could help more. When I say tropical, I mean like let's say if you're doing like fruits and so forth or different aspects, like you can consume more of things like mangoes, maybe papayas, maybe like avocados, especially those healthier fats, avocados. If you have like coconuts, all of those are really good. So consuming more of like the healthy fats, plant fats, it's something that could really dramatically help a lot more. And and also ensuring that you have like, a good amount, ample amount of um your fats, proteins, and so forth at the different meals that you consume, whether that may be in the nuts or your legumes and so forth. But making sure you have those, and of course, many other things could cause one to lose more weight, like stress and different aspects. So even less stress and all of those aspects can actually make you be help your metabolism a lot better, and so forth. So that way you can be able to gain the necessary weight that you need. So I would say like those are just a few things for starters, but especially those healthier fats. Like a lot more of your avocados, your legumes, your nuts, coconuts, tropical fruits and so forth. All of those are really helpful. If you do smoothies for supper and so on, then you know have like like even having more coconut milk and just different aspects like that. Those could be very helpful for weight building and gaining.
Okay, thank you. But one last thing, because
Yes.
I also have serious digestive issues and reflux and everything. So is it safe or I mean a good idea to be consuming nuts because I know that they're high in fat. Would it have any adverse effects if I be consuming like the cashews and the almonds?
Okay, definitely a good question. So then another thing too is this, right? Just to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned you have different digestive issues as well, which could be a factor why maybe you may not necessarily be gaining weight. So working on digestion actually can help with gaining the weight that you need because maybe your body is just not assimilating everything properly and you're not able to utilize what you're consuming as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so as you implement a lot of those things, that could also help with the weight as well. However, if you have digestive issues where you have an inability, I mean, you have to understand your body and see what are some foods that are more difficult for you to be able to digest, so you can know, at the moment, okay, what are some things maybe you may want to refrain from, even temporarily until your body begins to restore itself and maybe slowly add in. So sort of see like, what is it that you are capable of consuming and what you aren't. I mean, of course, ideally for digestive health, we do recommend, like plant foods, plant-based foods and so forth. However, even within plant foods, your body may not be able to like utilize certain aspects with, different digestive issues. So then, again, I'm sure you've over time you sort of understood and seen reactions from your body from certain foods. Temporarily you want to refrain from those if that may be nuts, if that may be like certain things for you or certain types of nuts. Like definitely refrain from that while your body's in that restorative or healing process until you're able to build it up more. Then you can actually start slowly introducing certain things to see how well your body is able to react to it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Yeah, so let's see if we have any other questions here. So if there are any other questions, feel free to be able to mention that. Raise your virtual hand. Raise your virtual hand. And let me see here. Okay, great. So then, okay, so we do have Jillian here. You can go ahead, Jillian, go ahead, unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hi, my question is that I have a sister who did a C-section,
Okay.
and she wants to know if it's okay or how soon should she start um doing the 30-day cleanse.
Okay, understood. No, definitely. And is it the same one in the chat as well as breastfeeding?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So then now this is what, right? Like let's say if someone is also there may be like let's say someone is breastfeeding as well. Of course, like with each person, I mean we do always have to put a disclaimer, see your medical professional and so on, what and so forth. However, with doing the 30-day cleanse, sometimes like a full 30 days, it depends on how you go about doing it. It could be a very intense one for someone breastfeeding. It could be intense. So I mean, sometimes ideally, like maybe during that time frame, shorter cleanses probably work better than longer ones. But then I would say like, giving it some time would be great. And if you just did a C-section, you just started breastfeeding and so on, because there's so many changes that take place during the cleansing process, and then there's different cleansing reactions and different things that you go through. And whilst breastfeeding, it could be a little more difficult for a mother. So it's nice sometimes, even prior to being pregnant, doing a full cleansing that actually helps. So that way, by the time you do your next cleansing, it could be sometime after, you done with breastfeeding and so on. And that actually helps. That cleansing will actually help ladies to, I'd say like, still giving it some time. And, if you really, unless it's really like needed like immediately, then then those are situations where, okay, there may be certain exceptions with mothers that really needs to do something on an immediate level because of certain conditions. But if it's not necessarily something that may be absolutely needed immediately, then I'll say just wait it out a bit, closer to the end of that breastfeeding period, so that way, it wouldn't be as too intense for her.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No, appreciate it. And I see we do have one from Vera as well. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your presentation. Very good, very detailed. I have a specific question. It's been 1 year since I started oral chemo, and I noticed that it just kind of just burnt me, like literally. So I have esophagitis and gastritis, acute on chronic, and I also put on 40 pounds because of the steroids. So I was doing lemon water each morning, but I think that was contributing to the burning. So when I stopped it, I felt a little bit better. I gave it 3 months. I still was like hearing gastric sounds, like churning. So I called the doctor. We got some protonics ordered, but once I read the side effects, I really didn't want to take it because I know your body can heal itself. So what do you think I should do for the burning is the first question.
Okay, so yeah, so lots of burning in the stomach area as a result of everything you've been having so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. So then I would say like right now, and you said you did like a fasting, or was that a cleanse, or what exactly was that?
I used to just drink lemon water each morning to, yeah, like
Okay.
a gentle thing, but I thought it was contributing to the problem.
No, definitely. Definitely. I mean, so in that situation, if I was in your situation right now, what I'll do is first thing first is go on a full cleansing. I think that'll be essential, especially after doing all those rounds of therapies that you did and so forth, releasing a lot of those chemicals and so on, cleaning out the entire gut, gastric area and so forth. We do have a 30-day cleanse kit, so I would recommend you doing that. I think that'll be a great place to start. 30-day cleanse kit. And then during that cleansing program, especially the second stage, juicing is also recommended, which will really help. But if you can actually do the juicing that we spoke about during that process too, like earlier, that recipe with the cabbage and the potato in there too, I think those will be like a great start in helping to try to reset that your gut area, your digestive area. And I mean, you'll notice a difference as well, through the process. So I would say that would be a great place to start. One, getting rid of maybe a lot of the effects from that therapy that you did there, and two, being able to help with restoring the gut area as well. So that would be a good place to start. And then I would say if ever you need like more help on assistance in certain areas, like feel free to reach out to our lifestyle center here. And so whether you may want to get help from home or even want to be able to get help in person as well. We like even today we started a health session today as well at our place. So we do have like several health guests coming with different issues we're working with right now over in New York, upstate New York. So yeah, feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to see how best we can help.
Thank you. And that will help with weight loss too, right?
So yeah, weight loss, most definitely. So yeah, so on the cleansing program, like people do see lots of results with weight loss, and I'm sure there are probably many people in here even right now who have done the cleansing recently in the past weeks or months, and I'm sure a lot of them can testify, who may have the extra weight as well, the benefits with weight loss. But yeah, with some people will see like 10, 20, 30 plus pounds being lost within that 30-day period.
Now with the
Yeah.
30 days, you got to stay near a bathroom, like
I have to send you what? Sorry?
on the 30-day cleansing, you need to be near a bathroom, right?
Not, I mean, it's more slow acting in terms of the lax. So it's a full body detox. It has like not only the colon in there, but the liver, the blood purifier. It has like parasite, lung, kidneys, and so forth. However, with the colon aspect, which will be the main one that will cause you to use the restroom, it's more slow acting. So it's not like a very laxative effect where, and again, everyone is different in terms of how they react, but typical scenario is it's not like you will have to be living near a restroom. You know, you can go and do your regular activities and so forth. Not that one day it may be a little more active, but in a general sense, for a lot of people, it's like just regular usage, maybe like still 2 times, 3 times, 2, 3 times a day, and it just bulks up more and allows more to be released. So it's more slow acting. It's not just a lactative effect.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, definitely appreciate your question. Thank you. And I think Jillian, do you have another question here?
Yes, I do. After the 30-day cleanse, let's just say a couple months pass by, and you want to go back on another cleanse, do you have to do all 30-day all over again, or can you choose? Like, for instance, if I decide to do the colon cleanse, which
Yeah.
is stage 2, can I just do stage 2 and don't do the others, or do I have to start from the parasite, go down?
Yes, I know you're trying to avoid that parasite one. It's a deadly one, I know, but I'm just playing. But yeah, so then you can do the just like the colon and liver or something like that if you want. You don't have to do the full one, especially if you're doing it soon afterwards. I mean, if you're doing it like once a year or something like that, then yeah, doing a full cleanse will be really nice. But then if you need to like do a little more cleansing, in a shorter time frame, then you don't have to do the full 30 days again. Unless your body really needs it, then sometimes in 3 months we have someone doing it again. Again, if someone is in a more critical state with a particular condition, then you may have to be a little more aggressive with that. But then if you just want to, utilize even just a colon, like that's perfectly fine. Like you can literally do that even a couple weeks, a week after, a month after you did your 30-day cleansing, because but yeah, because a lot of things you see a lot of improvement in 30 days, but sometimes, certain bodies need a little extra boosting as well in different areas.
So, also, if you're not in a critical state, is it recommended to do the 30 days once a year, or can you do it more than once for the year?
Yeah, so then I would say like ideally, like we recommend cleansing at least once a year, cleansing. So I mean, yeah, so so just cleansing in general at least once a year is great. The 30 days is just like a good reset, for like all the different limiting organs and so forth. However, um, so at least cleansing once a year is like a good practice, just same way like, just the same way like we change our oil in our vehicles ever so often, is just, changing that, our blood and everything else, just cleansing and detoxing the entire body. So that's really helpful at least once a year. So 30 days, the 30-day one is great. It's a great option to do that. I mean, we do have other options as well. We do have other options as well. So it really depends on individuals, but as a general thing, we do recommend like the 30-day one, but then the 30-day one doesn't have to be as intense sometimes. Like for example, like the first stage, you can actually just eat like you know regular plant foods during that time frame whilst doing the detox. And especially the second stage, we recommend more the juicing and so forth, which is more of the intense aspect, I guess. The last stage, it could transition to whether you do raw or just like regular cooked plant foods with some raw as well. So yeah, so the 30 days you could do that. You could do that once a year, or if that's not something that you're able to do at that particular year, then we do also have like a 7 to 10 day cleansing program as well, 7 to 10 days that could be done too, for individuals who may not be able to do the full 30 days at any given point.
Thank you so much. Can they also put the link to join the WhatsApp group? I have a couple of people that want to join.
Okay, great. Let me make sure I can get that link for you right now. And if anyone gets it before me, feel free to drop that link in the chat. But I'm also going to look to send that as well. So do let me know if there are any questions, any more questions before we end off. And also, if you're in the WhatsApp too, there is also a way to be able to get that link as well. where you can also be able to just invite as many people as possible. So we do encourage you, like in that WhatsApp group, invite as many people as possible, because you never know, it might impact a life, it might save a life, you know. So yeah, so all that is important. So I'm just searching for the particular device I'm on. I may not have it right now. But what we will do is we will send the link. What we'll do is we'll send that link in the chat for those who already are in there, so that way you can send it to others. You can send it to others. We'll send that in the WhatsApp chat, so that way you can be able to just forward that to as many people as possible. And just tell them to, you can encourage them to be able to join in. You can encourage them to join in. Yeah. Okay, great. So I think that's about it right now. I don't see any more hands on the on the Zoom. So then what I would say is, you know, feel free to bring your questions next week as well. You know, if we miss anyone, or if you have something throughout the week that came up, you know, write it down and we'll be able to follow up with you next week. Especially next week, we'll be covering women health as well. So come in with your questions pertaining to that, and your notepads and everything else. But until then, you have a wonderful rest of your evening, and blessings to you all. And we'll see you all. We'll drop that replay within the WhatsApp, so you can share that with as many people as possible. So you have a wonderful rest of the evening. Blessings to all.